Right. So let's wait for a while for others to join, and then we'll be starting. In the meantime, you can read what this session is about. I'll be talking about what does it take to be a DSC lead, sharing my experiences. Let's wait like 2 minutes, then we'll be starting. Okay, so let's start. So, welcome everybody to my session. We'll be talking about what does it take to be a DSC lead, and I'm Shahzeb Kazmi. I served as a DSC lead for my university campus last year, and in this session we will be talking about the DSC experience which I had, and and if you are applying to be a DSC lead this year, what is in store for you. So before we start, let's make it clear what DSC is, because for those people who don't know what it is. So DSC Developer Student Clubs is a program by Google developers for all undergraduate students, and the entire purpose of this program is to bridge that gap between theory and practice, because Google realizes that in our institutions of today there is very much there is a lot of emphasis on the theoretical part of the education, not that much on practical. So they are trying to undo that through this program, developer student clubs, by by providing undergraduate students real life work experience while they are studying. So this is like a once in a lifetime opportunity, and like everybody should try to make use of it. So without further ado, let's start. And before starting, let me tell you who am I, because you will be with me for the next 40 minutes. So better get to know me first. So I'm Shahzeb Kazmi. I am 20 years old. I was born in Karachi, so that's my hometown. I live in Rawalpindi. I moved here back in 2014. I love both cities, but I really miss the food of Karachi. Nothing can beat that. I'm currently pursuing my software engineering from UT Texla, and I'm a sophomore. And these are some of the things which I love. So I love to make videos, and if you have seen some of my work on YouTube, you like then you know how I am. But if you haven't, then feel free to search my name and give me a subscribe maybe. So I drive my inspiration from some of my favorite YouTubers like Elliot Choi, Casey Neistat, and Peter McKinnon. If you know them, good. If you don't, please check them out as well. And I love Netflix, like many of you do as well, due to this pandemic now. And I'm a huge Marvel fan, Star Wars fan. I've watched all the movies, all the episodes as well. In the sports section, I support Manchester United. I know things haven't been really good lately, but still I will support this team till the end. And in terms of technical expertise, I am really fond of UX design and development, mostly front end. But these are some of the things which I am really fond of. And lastly, I absolutely love Google. because they are doing really amazing stuff in terms of tech innovation and really making an impact on different communities through different programs like GDG, DSC. So really appreciate the work Google is doing. So our session today would be divided into these four parts. So I'll be starting with the application for next year's 2020 DSC leads and like what is required from you guys, what you have to do, what should be your mindset when you approach this application. So we'll be talking about that. Then I'll be talking about the DSC experience, like if you are selected as a DSC lead, hopefully you are, then what is in store for you, and I'll be talking about that from my own personal experience, what I did, what I learned, all of that. Then I'll be talking about the different opportunities which I was offered through this program, and there are so many of them. So we'll be talking that in quite a bit of detail. Lastly, I'll be finishing off with the impact that you can make through this DSC program and how I did my part to this program. So if you are trying to apply to this program, then you need to try and live by this quote, which I wholeheartedly do. It's a quote by Zig Ziglar. You don't have to be great at something to start, but you have to start to be great at something. And you need to make this quote your mantra, because if because once you are in the DS lead program, you will be surrounded by many leads who are better at you at something. Either they are better programmers, they are more creative, they are more social, they are just better at something than you, and that can be quite overwhelming. And if you live by this quote, then you will realize that these people are great because they started somewhere, and this program DSC can be your place to start on your journey to greatness. So if you have this quote in your mind, then you will truly excel and make the most out of this DSC experience. So currently we have 42 DSCDs all across Pakistan, and we span about 17 plus cities. Now this number seems good, but we would love this number to explode this year to many hundreds, and and that's why we are conducting all these sessions, because we want as many students as possible to make the most out of this amazing opportunity, which many students don't have in their countries. So let's talk about the application now. And for those of you who were expecting कि मैं अपनी पुरानी screenshot share करूँगा, so quite a bummer for you. I won't be doing that. And let's talk about it. So I had a quick glance over this year's DSC Lead Interest Form 2020. So these were some of the sections in that form, and they required your information. So the first questions were related to your personal information, your name, your father's name, your date of birth. So pretty straightforward to fill out. Then they require your university information. Now this can be a bit tricky, because there's a drop down menu in which you have to select your university name. Okay, but listen to me. If you don't have your university name listed in that list, don't be discouraged, because that doesn't mean कि आप apply नहीं कर सकते, कि सिर्फ वही वाले university के बच्चे apply कर सकते हैं. It does not mean that. That means कि उन universities में already DSC operational है, like वहाँ पे already DSC leads हैं. सही है. So जिन universities का नाम वहाँ पे नहीं होगा, that means कि आपकी university में there is no current DSC operational, there is no lead, and it can be your opportunity to pioneer that club at your campus. And trust me, it's a big privilege to do that, to bring this amazing opportunity to all the students in your university. It's a big privilege. So if your university name is not in that drop down menu, then that simply means that you can be the first DS lead from your university, and नीचे एक option होता है where you can write your university name, and then if you are selected, तो आपकी university उसमें add हो जाएगी. Okay, so that was about the drop down menu. And there's a question about your official website of your university, so you also have to provide that, because then they can ensure that your university actually exists. It's just a precautionary measure. Then there's a question about an interview video call language. So if you graduate, so if you progress from this first evaluation of the form, then you will be required to have a video call from a Google expert. And so this question basically asks like which language do you want that interview to be. Now this option has got a lot of languages options, but it does not have Urdu, I think. So you have to do your interview in English. And even if Urdu was present, I would have still recommended you guys to choose the English language, because once you are selected as a lead in all the platforms beyond this, you still have to speak English at all the platforms. So why not start your practice from the application right away, right? So do select English in that question. Then there's a bit of a confusing bit about the DSC code. Now, if you don't have the DSC code, then please don't fill it out, because that's not for everybody. If you don't have it, just ignore, because it would not affect your chances of selection by one bit. So if you don't have it, don't be discouraged, just ignore it and move forward. And lastly, there are a couple of questions regarding your involvement in Google programs. So there are many Google programs offered in Pakistan and many other countries as well, like Google Developer Groups, Google Developer Experts, Women Tech Makers, uh, and Google Summer of Code. So if you have been a part of any of these programs, please do mention your roles and your experiences in those communities. But if you have not been involved in any Google program, don't be discouraged, because it will again not really affect your chances of selection. This DSC can be your first Google program, and let me just encourage you in by an example. Like back in April, when I applied in my DSC program, I had no idea about any Google programs. I had not been involved in any of the Google programs. So I was just like those people who found out about this program by luck and just applied and they were selected. So this example should serve you that your involvement is not very important to your selection. You can be, you hope, you most likely will be selected even if you were not involved in any programs. Then there's the video, okay? And I know it scares a lot of people, so let's talk about it in a bigger detail. So what about the video? The video is optional this year, okay? And don't get quite happy about it just yet. Just hear me on this, okay? I still highly recommend that you submit your video to this through this application, because I genuinely believe that the video is the most truest form of expressing yourself. And in this application form, you don't have any other opportunity to truly express yourself to the selection committee. So do send in your video. I think there are three prompts this year, and you have to make a 1 minute or 90-second video. I'm not sure, but you have to make a video, and you should, if you can. Don't be afraid of it, because if you are scared in front of talking in front of a lifeless camera, then how do you really expect to talk in front of 200 or 500 students in front of you who will judge you? So if you cannot talk in front of a camera, how can you expect to do that? So let this application be the starting of your public speaking career, because don't take this program as once you are admitted in DSC, फिर आप improve करना start करोगे, फिर आप grow करना start करोगे. Don't be like that. Start growing with this community, like right from its application. So start trying new things right from this application part, and do submit your video. So you can use my video as an inspiration. I submitted this last year, and don't drive too much inspiration from my video, because I admit that I did more than it was required for my submission video. Like I added drone shots, narrations, and cinematic shots, everything. So, and I did all that because I actually love the process. I love the process of video development, video production. So that's why I did that. But you don't have to do that. You just have to truly express yourself. I believe that I can express myself best through my craft. That's why I did all of these things. But if you cannot do all of that, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. Just try to stand out of all the different applications, because last year we had about 1,000 applications. This year they can be a lot more than that, because now there's more awareness. So do try to stand out and do try to truly express yourself, like why do you want to be a DSC lead, what can you do through this community. Just try to really convince the selection committee that you are the lead that they have been waiting for, basically. So the deadline for the DSC applications, DSC lead application, is 15th May 2020. It's still far away, so you don't have to worry. But it's not that far away that you should just relax. Uh, the filling out of this form will take maximum of about 2 days if you want to do it perfectly. So it's not a lot. Do apply for this program. You will be in for a hell of an experience. I can assure you that. And you can apply through this link, Google/DSC Leads. And there's not a very tough link to remember. You can take a screenshot of this, or you can come back and watch this video. And even if not that, you can just go to Google and search DSC Leads. This would be the first search result. So you cannot skip. You have to apply, basically. So 15th May 2020 is the deadline, and please apply. Please, you will thank me later, and I will be waiting for your thanks. So enough about how to apply, and now let's talk about, if you are selected as a DSC lead, what is in store for you. So let me just summarize my experience by saying that the DSC Summit, so the DSC community was the most empowering community I have been a part of in my entire academic career. And that's saying a lot, because I am a part of 5 different tech communities. So yeah, it's an amazing experience. I'll just tell you in a bit. So if I were to summarize my entire experience in 3 things, so these 3 were definitely the highlight of the entire year. So the first one was starting a club at my university. So starting a club is a challenge, because you have to go through all the official channels. You have to talk to your administration about approving this club on your university, and just spreading the word, getting people to attend, because it's something new. People don't understand it, and you are just a fellow, or their peers. They don't take you seriously as well. So it's definitely an experience in itself, and we'll talk about it more later. Then there is the DSC Summit, and the DSC Summit was the party of the year, and it was that type of a party which doesn't make you regret after you have been there, because if you enjoy there for 5 hours, so we studied there for 8 hours as well. There were back-to-back sessions from Google experts who flew from other countries to give those sessions. So yeah, they meant business, and they were there to teach us, and they didn't um, and they did their roles. Let's just leave it at that. And then after the DSC Summit, uh, now is the time to serve as a leader, uh, build a community around you of student developers, of people who truly want to drive a change, and make an impact through this platform. So now's the time to serve as a leader, and just to inspire others to make a change and drive a change. So your first event would be the toughest one to pull off, and you need to put in your maximum effort in making this event your best one yet. Because if your university that does not have a current operational DSC like all the universities last year were, then we had to define this entire community uh, by being a role model, or just setting a statement, setting a tone of the entire community, like what we wanted to do through DSC. So your first event would be the toughest to pull off. People will be a bit confused whether to attend it or not, because you are just a fellow peer. So this event will define your entire year, whether your peers should take you seriously, and it's the best time to demonstrate like you are a leader, you are somewhere, like you are someone they can trust. They can trust your management skills. So your first event should be the best one, and do try to have that first event before the DSC Summit, because then your summit experience would be exemplified, if you have already conducted an event or initiated the DSC in your university. So our DSC Summit 2019 experience was the best experience I have had. I've said it. I will not be tired of saying it again and again. So enough about me saying it. I need a break as well. You can watch the official DSC Summit video, which was posted by Google developers on the official channel. So just watch that. It's not that long, about 2 minutes, so you can get an idea. I'm also in it, by the way. Right. So that was our summit video. There is a bit of a sound problem, so it's available on YouTube. You can go and watch that, and it's and you will get a good idea of our summit experience. And if that is not enough for you, and you want a more hands-on personal experience of the entire summit, then as I told you, I love to make videos, and I made an entire series, 5 episode series of my entire DSC summit. So this is a link. It's not tough to remember. You can take a screenshot as well, or you can search my name on YouTube. You will get the entire series in front of you, and and then you can really live our experiences through my lens. Okay, so please feel free to do that. And also, if you have any questions about DSC or anything, just save them for the last, because we will be having a Q&A. So just save them for the last. So my DSC sessions. Now, after the summit, it's time to build a community in your university. These are some of my stats. So I was able to conduct 12 plus physical sessions three virtual and two sessions in collaborations with other companies like GitHub and Microsoft. So these are some of my stats, and these are some of the photos of my sessions. As you can see, there is a crowd, and it was definitely an experience in itself. So I was able to teach these technologies with the help of my core team, of course, to my club members who range about 300. So we were able to instruct them on HTML5, CSS, Google Cloud Platform, TensorFlow in GCP. Now you must be wondering कि ये चीजें मुझे कहाँ से आती हैं, like मैं भी sophomore हूँ. So Google does provide you with amazing resources to use and to instruct you using them, and and definitely you will have to rely on your core team as well to help you with all these sessions, because it is a teamwork. Yeah, you cannot lead your community alone. You need the support of your peers, your core team. And besides web technologies, I also instructed them on mobile technologies, specifically Flutter with Dart. And if you don't know, Flutter is a framework by Google, which can be used to develop mobile apps for both Android and iOS. So it's a very amazing framework, and I instructed my club members on that. And if you want a video highlight of that of those sessions, then you can search them up on YouTube, because I think there's a bit of a sound issue. So let's skip this. Now, you are conducting all these sessions. You are teaching your members, like what is it for you, like आप पे क्या impact पड़ रहा है, like if you are serving like if you're serving as a lead, so how are you growing? So I can honestly vouch for okay, these two things were the things which I improved upon, and those would be persistence and mindfulness. So persistence क्या होती है? So so you are a lead, and you are planning several sessions, several events for your community, right? And you will soon realize that not everything will occur, will go through like you plan it to. Okay, so don't let this discourage you, and you just need to be persistent. You just need to keep working hard, and you will get some results. And let me explain this better by using examples. So my events average about 60 to 70 attendees per event, right? So that's good, I guess. I am proud of that. But there was one event in which I got about 23 attendees. Now, as you can see, this is a big dip, and it was quite demotivating for me as well. But the key idea was to be persistent and not let this slow me down, because I had a history of good events. So one event should not nullify my efforts for all those events as well, right? So that taught me this first lesson. The other one was mindfulness. Now, this event didn't well good, right? We had about 23 attendees, so something was definitely wrong. So something was definitely wrong. Cool. So uh, I decided to get a feedback from those attendees. Like, why didn't they attend it? Like, what caused them to not attend? Like, उन्हें क्या समझ नहीं आ रही थी? Like, जो पिछले events थे, उसमें कुछ मजा नहीं आया. So I got the feedback, and then I got the response which I knew was coming. कि यूनिवर्सिटी की पढ़ाई जो है तंग कर रही है. It is distracting us. बहुत load है, assignments हैं, quizzes हैं, and that was coming, and that taught me the other lesson, to be mindful about the university curriculum of our country, because because I know there's a bit of a stereotype going around कि GPA matter नहीं करता and skills matter करते हैं, and everybody just likes to throw this word around, skills. So GPA and skills ये एक debate है, and I agree to disagree. Like ठीक भी है, गलत भी है, because I believe that GPA is an important thing in our society, because it's an intellectual metric for a student. Because if you want to gain scholarships for your higher education, so they use that GPA to grant you that. So definitely GPA is not something to ignore, but skills are not something to ignore as well. And like, let me give you an example. Like, your GPA can get you a job, but if you don't have the relevant skills, then you will be out of that job in a couple of weeks. So both have to be balanced. They both actually do coexist. Like, if you are getting a good GPA, then you definitely have skills as well. So this taught me the importance of the university curriculum as well. So I had to be mindful about that. And I got the admin involved, and I talked to them, okay, what can be done. So I got after school sessions up, like, approved. And we were the first ones to do that, and we held our first after school session, and our attendees list went back to 60 and 70. So yeah, it worked, I guess. So besides these were the four things which I also improved upon. I'll just touch them quickly. So the first one was procrastination, and you cannot delay anything as a lead, because you are delegating your work on your core team, right? So if you want them to submit their work to get things done on their prescribed time, then you need to do your role as well. So अगर आप खुद नहीं कर रहे तो आप दूसरों से कैसे expect कर सकते हो? It's that sort of thing. So lead बन गए हो, so say bye to procrastination, otherwise your club won't work. Management, you are a lead, you are planning, you are making sure that everything goes according to your plan. Speakers, logistics, so definitely teaches you one or two things about management. Then comes the punctuality. Okay, so there's an aspect of our DSC experience, and that's that we have to report our activities after every 2 weeks on a Hangouts meet call to our manager. So I can proudly say that I never missed a single one of these reports. So being there on time, sharing your things, your activities, and what you plan to do. So that definitely teaches you a lot of punctuality, and you need to stick to your goals. So that that really helped me as well. Lastly, getting things done in our native translation, that means jugaad, because at the end something will definitely go wrong. एक speaker कहेगा यार कि नहीं मैं नहीं कर सकता. So you will have to make some hard on the spot decisions at the end, and you will somehow may have to get things done किसी भी तरह. And I think that is the most important skill I could have learned, and anyone could have learned from this experience, which will help me in my future life as well. Now that was enough about the DSC experience, and now let's talk about the different opportunities which I was exposed to while being a part of this program, and it definitely set a lot of things in motion for me. The first one would definitely be connecting with other leads globally. So let me tell you that developer student clubs is not restricted to one country. It's a very global sort of community with about 800 universities all around the world participating in this program. So once you are part of this program, you will be connected with all those leads. You will talk to them on any platform, be that Slack or Instagram. So your network would definitely grow tenfold. And this is one of those experiences. Like, we on every Wednesday, we recently have DSC Southeast Asia Trivia Nights. It's an amazing initiative by our regional manager Shad. And Shad, if you are watching this, thank you for this. I love the trivia nights. And as you can see from my screenshots, all the leads from the entire Southeast Asia region participate in this activity, and all the questions on this Kahoot activity is related to Google Tech or DSC or some general info. So you definitely learn a few things from this event. And I also included another screenshot where I stood second place in that entire competition. I am still very proud of that achievement. And the first position tango is also fellow DSC lead, Uzair. So yeah, that was a close competition. And another example of the international nature of this program is this followers list of my DSC's Instagram page. So as you can see, I'm based in Pakistan, but I am connected with all the DSCs all around the world, be that in Miami, Okan, Texas, and Turkey, and even GBGs. So as you can see, once you are part of this Google community, you will be connected to this bigger global community of students who are working to make an impact on their communities, and they are amazing individuals. Let me tell you that. Another amazing opportunity is mentorship from Googlers through live sessions. Okay, so अगर मुझे कोई एक साल पहले कहता कि तुम जब यूनिवर्सिटी में आओगे and you will be connected to live Googlers and you will be able to get your questions answered from them, I would have laughed it out. But DSC has definitely made that a reality. And one example of them is Skills Level Up. We recently had this live stream on YouTube where two live Googlers from Singapore and basically Southeast Asia region were live, and they were answering different questions of many students. As you can see, I even asked some questions myself and was answered. So mentorship from Googlers, from people who work at the place every techie wants to end up. It's nothing short of a privilege, and this privilege is waiting for you if you become a part of this program. Now, another thing is I would like to share you is the opportunities path with which Google has set for you guys through their community programs. Now we are at the DSC place, right? So what does a DSC do is that you have to manage student communities and learn from Google resources. So you are managing a relatively a smaller community of students. And then the next part, the bigger community, is the GDG, which is Google Developer Groups. Now, these communities are citywide, so they span about an entire city, and the events are citywide, which range about 500 to 1,000 attendees. I am actually a part of GDC Islamabad as well as a volunteer, and I honestly love that community as well. And I truly believe that I was recruited in that community because of my experience as a DSC lead. So as you can see that all these different programs are like stepping stones to one another. And all this time in DSC and GDG and conducting different technical sessions, you would definitely have mastered or not one Google technology as well along the way. And if you have, then you can apply to be a GDE, which is Google Developer Expert. That's another program by Google, and it's basically like an exam which you have to take on that Google Tech. And if you are approved, then basically it's a big achievement, and you can put that up on your CV, and it's quite a big achievement. And once you have participated in all these programs, the world is basically your oyster, because on your resume you can have all these skills mentioned. You would be a team player because you know how to work in communities. You would have good management skills because you have been in places of authority. You have made events successful by ensuring that everything goes smoothly. You would have amazing technical skills because definitely you would have given one or two technical sessions as well. And let me tell you from experience, teaching is the best way to learn. Like I learned the Flutter framework best when I taught it to my DSC. So teaching is the best way to learn. I know it from experience. Then you would have an experience working with a tech giant that is Google. So putting that on your resume would definitely beef it up by a lot. And lastly, you would have an amazing network of people after all this time in different communities, and you would have learned directly from Googlers, so you would know the ins and out of that company before even working there. Like like you will graduate with having an experience of about 10 years, which you learn from the people जो वहाँ काम कर रहे हैं. उन लोगों को 10 साल लगे वो चीज़ सीखने में, and they gave that to you while you were an undergraduate student. And that is the beauty of communities, basically. Now, enough about the opportunities of the experiences. Now is the time to make an impact, which developer student clubs actually excels at. So, how you can make an impact? Now, the now one DSC club runs for an year, right? So that 80% of that year would be sessions, trainings, but that last 20 years, 20%, sorry, would be would be making an impact by participating in the Global Solution Challenge, which goes live in January and runs till the end of March. Due to this pandemic, this is running till the end of April now, and I'm participating in it as well. So what is Global Solution Challenge is that you have to look around and just find local problems in your community which can be solved from using the tech which you learned in your time in your DSC. So use all you learned and solve a local problem. And this is how this program is bridging the gap between theory and practice, which are the foundations of the entire program. So from my experience, I believe that making an impact with tech is divided in these parts. So out of the entire 100% of work, 25% of work is identifying the problem which you need to solve through tech. And this is quite a process because not everything can be solved through tech. So you have to be very mindful in this process. And once done that, the 50% of the work is finding an appropriate solution to that problem and then making that solution using an appropriate Google tech or any tech. So this is the entire process. Your technology depends on the solution and your solution depends on the problem. So this is the uh, connection, I guess. And once your 75% of work is done, the last 25% is pitching and marketing. And I think GDG Live also had a session on pitching and marketing by a fellow DSC lead, Kinza. So that is also up live, and you can definitely watch that for inspiration. So pitching and marketing is also very important because building a solution is not enough, and having that on your device is definitely not enough. The word needs to get out, and your product needs to get into the hands of the user. So pitching and marketing makes that possible. So that is the last 25% of the job. And while we are talking on the impact, so I'm very proud of this achievement of mine. Let me just say that. In December of 2019, the Southeast Asia region released this report of the top leads in the entire region, which spans about several countries like Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, Pakistan. So there are many countries in this program. And as you can see, the top four leads are from Pakistan, and I stand second after Kinza. So this is quite a big achievement for me, and I'm very proud of this. So this is the power of this program, and this is the impact which you can make through this program. Now, while we are talking about this impact and the Global Solution Challenge, so I am also participating in this challenge, and I have already submitted my solution in this competition. I would have played this video, but again, there's a audio problem, so I probably won't. So I'll tell you about this problem which I solved. So the problem which I identified was student unemployment, like how in Pakistan students working real jobs while being in college is considered sort of a taboo, and they are often looked down upon, made fun of, and basically downright discriminated against. And this is a culture which is very limiting our our youth, because in US, in UK, you will find the same students who make fun of these people doing student jobs out there. So we need to normalize student employment in Pakistan, like how Uber and Kareem have normalized the cab industry. So 10 years back, कोई बंदा सोच भी नहीं सकता था कि यार मैं टैक्सी चला रहा हूँ, because you would have been discriminated against. But now, due to Kareem and Uber, it's a very good source of income, and there's nothing to be ashamed about. I need the same thing for student employment, and Tulba, my platform, aims to do that. You can visit my YouTube channel. I have posted all these promos there, and you can see and use this product by yourself. Now, I'll be ending this session by thanking my core team and my admin for being with me on every step of the way throughout my experience. They have been very supportive of my activities. My core team was always there to support me and to get my things done. And I would not have be able to accomplish all that without them. So thank you guys. If you're watching this, just pat yourself. And I would like to thank my admin as well, because they have helped me on every challenge which I faced. One example would be the Deaf Fest, where I was an outreach partner as well. So about 70 students were participating from my university in that event. Deaf Fest is a is an annual tech festival organized by GDG. So 70 students were participating from my university, and I requested transport for them from my university to the venue. And my admin was very cooperative, and they provided the transport. So that's how they supported me. So thank you guys. You have been really helpful in my experience. Now, this is the end of my session. Now I can take your questions and start and try to answer them. We have about 15 minutes left, so I'll try my best to answer all the questions you ask. And if you wish to join our DSC community, we have a Facebook community group named Developer Student Clubs Pakistan. It is managed by me and some of my fellow leads. So do become a part of that program and join this community. Now I'll be taking questions if you have any of those. Okay, I have this question by Shabin. I have my DSC Lead video call interview. Please do answer these questions. Okay, what are your questions? What are the expenses you have while conducting a workshops or tech talks? Okay, so good question. So your sessions may require some sponsorships or some funding, like many of our DSCs got from their university. In my experience, I didn't get any financial sponsorship from my university or from any company, and I was able to make this community run solely on the prospect of the information which I was offering through my sessions. So just conduct your sessions like you are gathering your friends or the students who wish to do something and learn something, and they are not really that much interested in food or your refreshments, but the actual knowledge of or the value of your session. So your sessions do not require any expenses. You can do it for free at in your classrooms, and all you need is a TV or a projector, and that's it. No, I had no expenses in my sessions. Then, what are the ways you find funds for the club activity? Again, I didn't have any funds, but some of my fellow leads got financial support from some startups and some from their university as well. Question number three: can DSC lead can only take workshops? Other student leads can also take the session. Good question. Okay, so DSC leads the can be the speakers for these sessions, obviously, but other students can also be a part of it. Like मेरे session में जो है, my core team also conducted some sessions, and even my seniors, just anyone who has something to share or just wants to share something which will benefit other students, get more of the practical studies, then they are more than welcome to host a session. What are the benefits of the members in the core team of the DSC? A good question. So the core teams are getting an exclusive insight of the role of DSC lead. So definitely they have slightly higher chances of being selected as a DSC lead because of their experience in management. Okay, nothing else. They have uh, they have the right amount of experience of managing a DSC because they have been working closely with a DSC lead. So that is the entire, I think, the major benefit of the core team, and they will also get certificates once in June, I guess. Will they get certificate? Yes, they will get a certificate. I just answered that. How many people you have in your core team? In my core team, I have nine students with me, and they are divided in technical or creative teams or even outreach. So nine people. What's the responsibility? I have told you. How many faculties you have in your club and what's their responsibility? Faculties, I mean, if you are asking about if you are asking about any faculty member in my core team, then I do have a faculty advisor with me, just to help me with different discussions with my admin. Yes. Do we have more questions? Okay, there's a question by Hira. What about postgraduates? Okay, so the DSC is only open for undergraduate students. The DSC lead post is only open to undergraduate students who have about 1 year to graduate, so they can apply. But the postgrad students can be a part of the club in terms of conducting sessions and being a part of the core team. And as I told you, being a part in the core team will also earn you a certificate at the end of the year from Google. So the postgraduates can be a part of the club in the core team, but they are not eligible to be a DSC lead. That is only open for undergraduate students who have about 1 year left to graduate. Please do give some tips for DSC lead video call interview. Interview call. Okay, good question. Okay, so the interview call would be like 2 weeks after your submission of the application, right? So all that interview would be dependent on your application and your video, because they would need something to get to know you. So your interview would be the expert getting to know about you more, your personality, your management skills, and just basically verifying that you are a leader and that you can actually um, lead a community, and do you have the relevant technical skills. And even if you don't have the technical skills at the time of your applications, they want some proof that you are studying on your own, and that by the time you are a DSC lead, then you will be technically sound to manage the club and just give some sessions. Okay. So we have another question by Vish MP. Kindly repeat how to get selected as DSC lead. The main points to be mentioned in video for explaining problems at my university, as previous DSC lead and team didn't do nothing for betterment of students. Okay, so I don't know about which DSC you're talking about. So how to get selected as a DSC lead? So just to summarize, there is an application form live right now till 15th of May. That is 2 weeks away from now. That's good enough time to apply. So just fill out that form. It's not that tough. The only personal information they require from you, or they will assess you on, is the video part, and that is optional. So don't leave that. I definitely recommend that you submit your video, and you ask the main points to be mentioned in the video, right? So in that video, I think this year you have 3 prompts for that video. I don't remember those prompts, but last year I had the prompt that I had to explain about myself कि मैं कौन हूँ and why do I want to be a DSC lead for my university. So I had to just tell them that why do I wish to lead a community and like uh, मेरा purpose क्या है and do I really want to be a leader and how can I help the students around me. So you basically have to convince them in your video and through your entire application that you are a leader and you will make the most out of your resources and share them with everyone. That is the best way to get selected in my opinion. And lastly, problems at my for explaining problems at my university. Mhm. Even if your previous DSC lead and your team didn't do anything, and if you were able to attend some of the events, then you can definitely, in the application form, you can definitely write about your participation, your involvement in their activities and the things you learned. And even if you didn't, just you would have, I mean, I hope you would have attended at least one of their sessions. So definitely mention that. That would help you get selected. I think I'm not getting any questions, so I would take that as a compliment. And I was able to explain everything quite well. That meant I'm just having a last minute check. Okay, cool. So I think I should end my video here. Thank you for joining, everybody. It was definitely an okay. Thank you. So I can prepare much better for it. I'm connected with you in Intel. Thank you. Okay, so I think this would be it from my end. Thank you for joining. I hope you learned a great deal about DSC. And if you have any questions, as Shebin said, you can find me on LinkedIn and just ask me questions there. I would be happy to help you. And looking forward to welcome you all in this community. It's an awesome program. Do apply for it. You still have time and and I think this session is recorded so you can always come back and drive more inspiration and tips from this video. And I think I got one more question. Asan, is virtual university eligible? They are, I think, four virtual university campuses already a part of this DSC program: Lahore, Narowal, and and Rawalpindi, I guess, as well. So virtual university is eligible for this. Yes. Okay, so I think I should stop here, and it was amazing to have you. Yeah. Thank you.